Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in this world. This is Hejin Lee with the morning update for Bitcoin. So here is a clean slate, which is usually how I would like to restart the labeling. All right, I'm going to start with my wedge pattern, which is still in play. We initially had it like this. If you zoom in here, you can say that we have a breakout and it's now sitting on the support. And if we need to see this going up, first this has to show that this white line here needs to hold as support. If it starts impulsing from this direction, in other words, this has to give a higher high above 1, like 3 minimum. So we need a higher high. And this needs to start lifting like right away. If we remove the line and just look at the patterns, you can see that this line of support here had been breached. Here's the head and shoulders pattern, even though it may not have been confirmed by volume. And, and the line broke down, the support. So here we are in a similar situation, I think, more of a fractal. This blue line of support has to hold. And if it breaks, I think we can get our 7,000, so 8,000, so maybe 7,600. So again, this cluster here will be one of the landing zones, and that's at 8359. And this zone right here, right below it, also is a good support. Not too far below, 7748. We've got a fractal right here, and a fractal right here. Price declined, breached the support line, and if price does this, it'll be, I know, stinky to see a lower low, but for me, that would be kind of like an ideal situation to see the bottom of this correction. And look how the 7748 matches up almost precisely, almost precisely with this apex of the downward pointing triangle. So while this looks a little messy with so many lines going through, what he's saying is that if this blue line support does not hold, we could get that lower low that I've been, how should I say, almost wishing for. Not as a masochist, but as an analyst. Because if we get this lower low, then at this point, somewhere 8,000, maybe 7,800, 7,700, I don't know exactly where that bottom is. Nobody does. But it will complete the 5, 3, 5, 3, 5 pattern. The other thing I want to show you is a long term. So one way, I don't know where I paused this, whatever, I got this video mixed up on the editing. So if it's a replay, sorry. So I'm backtracking a little bit now. If people are freaking out on these corrections and just one more swoosh left, one way to keep perspective is one, yes, let's do the fib retracement. .618 is 7,700. I would love to just get it over with. Fine, do it. Put the bottom in. It's like getting the flu shot. I call this flu shot bottoming. And a lot of people are going to panic sell. They're going to think it's going to go to zero. They're going to think that Bitcoin is dead. Everything's gone. Hope is lost. Media might even come out saying, oh, finally, Bitcoin is going to die. They always do. I believe there used to be a static website that was isbitcoindead.net. And if you actually went to it, the answer was a big NO. Now, if this is reached, it could be the final bottom, or yes, it can go further down. Absolutely. Even to 4,498. But 0.618 is the golden ratio and the usual target for wave 2. But the rule between wave of retracement, you can go up to 99.9% and still be valid. Yeah, sure. I have yet to see that in Bitcoin, in cryptocurrencies. So now, how to keep perspective and not go crazy and panic, sell, heal? Well, awareness is the key. I have consistently said that awareness keeps the panic away. So, since the Genesis to heal, what do we have? I'm not going to go all the way back, but let's say from Genesis to now we have wave 1. If we have wave 1, we are working on a wave 2 at a much higher degree. This will be multi-months to year, multi-weeks to multi-months. To this zone of this 0.618. If that's wave 2, projected wave 2 at 0.618, we have a bit more to go, yes. And if we go in that pattern of a wedge, bullish descending wedge, we have wave 1. This is the big forest picture. And then we have wave 2. Well, here's a question. What comes after wave 2? It'll be wave 3. And when wave 3 happens, it'll go near vertical. Look how we went near vertical right here. It'll go near vertical within the year. Where is that target for wave 3? I will not discuss it right now. We will revisit it. But for now, let's just keep it like this. We will revisit it on a projection scale once the 2 is finished and we swing back up. This is why I've been calling this just a correction, a healthy wave 2 correction. I don't believe this is Bitcoin ending event. And if this wave 2 is got one more lower low to do, it could be here. Yes, it could go to here. Oh gosh, yes, it could go to here, I know. For now, I'm going to keep it at fib 0.618. $7,700. And this wave 3 will go near vertical. It will be a sight to behold. If you thought wave 1 going vertical was a sight to behold, to go from $5,700 to $20,000 in about a month or so, you ain't seen nothing yet. The reason is wave 3 is much more powerful, violent, and vigorous than 1. from anyone who has $10,000 to $100,000 to a couple million to 100 million to a billion, whatever the number is that you've already invested in the Bitcoin. And if you're panicking now and you're ready to sell, that has to be a self-made decision. And the analysis that I offer, however, is a bigger picture. To not get lost in the trees for the forest. This is not a guarantee. For anyone who comes out and says in a month or so, whatever, we're still rattling in the correction, saying, oh, hedging, you called for higher highs. It's not happening. You're wrong. Well, first, I don't project time. Ignore this timeline. I said, well, within the year, yes, but I don't project when this turn will happen. The reason why time projection isn't something that I really get into is because time is not a reflection of sentiment, which price is. And is this a guarantee? Hell no. If you want a guarantee, you got to go somewhere else. And that's not called trading. If you expect someone to be 100% correct, I'm not it. I've been very consistent in stating that technical analysis is not based on the certainty principle. It's based on a probability principle. And if you think you can do better than this, you set up a blog, and put it out every day, every morning, every count. And then you'll be surprised how many haters come to your site. What I'm doing is I'm just calling it as I see it. I have no vested interest in looking good in front of you guys. No. I'm only calling it as I see it, and I put my money where my mouth is. My investments follow my analysis. How can it not? So, wave one, we're on wave two. It's just a correction. It could be a deep correction. It'll stink, but you know what? Cash becomes king in the corrections. For anyone who had zero cash in this correction, when the good times come again, if I were you, I'd go farming for cash and pat down at least 10-15% of your portfolio in cash. Because the subwaves of this wave three will be full of corrections at a minor scale. Wave one might come up like this, and you're going to get a wave two correction. Wave three, and you're going to get a wave four correction, and so on. And during each one of these corrections, people are going to freak out, panic sell, and they're going to look to blame somebody else for that pain, for that mistake, for that loss. Because it's human nature to project your guilt outwards to anyone but yourself, the responsible one, who made the buy and sell decisions. And it really truly comes to a higher level of emotional maturity with a lot of experience when you stop yourself from doing that. Because whenever in anyone's situation things go down the toilet, the only person who's standing there to see that happen is you yourself. So immediately taking accountability for any mistakes that you make as a trader or investor is a paramount key lesson and not to project your guilt for making a mistake to anyone else. But it's very understandable. It's very natural human attribute to do so, to find someone else to blame, anyone but yourself, because it temporarily makes you feel better as the not the guilty one. So here, again, wave one, wave two. And I remain calm because you know what? I believe wave three is coming. I hope this has been helpful and informative, and that it will truly help augment your due diligence. Thank you.